Mhm. Okay. All right. A few questions to answer. For the beautiful woman who says to me, "You can't wait for life not to be hard anymore." Yeah, I think you'll be waiting. Not being nasty or anything, but yeah, life is meant to be challenging. Life is meant to be, whatever you make of it. So if it's really, really hard, you obviously need a home consult. Just putting it out there. Or it's something to do with your own destiny. You're being very, very challenged. And having said that, with your destiny, it can't last forever. So if you've always been challenged, then it is where you live every time you go into a new place. It's challenging you. And your destiny can go into 5 and 10 year spans. And other times it's just a year that might bring it, etc., etc. Okay, so think about that first. The other is every time I do come out, I like how the way it's worded. Anyway, every time I do come out to tell you whether to buy a place or rent this place or sell your place, every time I do come out, yes, I do charge you. Do you know how much petrol is? Yeah, I could say other things, but I won't. So yes, I do. I will, and I do charge for every time. So if it takes you 10 homes before you find the right house, and you want me to have a look at every one of those, yeah, I do charge you. No, that is discounted anyway. The other option you can have is come and do the 1 day beginners. Then you can sell your own home and look for your own home in your own time, and you don't have to pay me every time. The course is pretty well priced. All right. So somebody who obviously feels they need to ask me this, is there any hope of us coming out of this? Um, Hope is the last thing in Pandora's box. That's all I'm going to say. Uh, yeah. Is there any hope? That all depends on how everybody votes in November. All right. So why don't we be the first state, the first place that kicks out those that don't deserve to be here? Got it? Got it. All right. Now, about the negative centre. Yes, the negative centre was in the southeast Victoria last year, and that's why it just went difficulty, obstacles, destruction. And we went through it all, but we're still here, guys. Yes, it is now in the centre, which means every centre of every single home is being challenged this year. Not just challenges in difficulty, obstacles, destruction. It can be bankruptcy for some homes if the rest of the house is no good and you're not sleeping in a great energy. And for me to tell you that, I know some of you are sending me and saying, well, my house faces this and my house. It's not how it works. I have to come out with a compass or show you how to use a compass wherever you are. And then you give me the reading. I need a degree that the house sits on because it's not just north 1, north 2, north. It's not just north, south, east, west. It's north 1, north 2, north 3. There's 3 sectors in every single direction. And so that's why you can't even tell me that the north that the architect has put on there, that's just grid north. It's not 1, 2, or 3. I have to know if it's 1, 2, or 3. So yeah, you really, really need to think about your home more than anything ever. The other thing is that center of what this represents is also what we call a void. And the void means that it's a portal. And through that portal, those that don't belong here, whether they're on an astral plane or a never, never land plane or purgatory or wherever, they come through when you activate this area. And if it's your center and you're walking through that center, You're activating it every day. So that can be another reason why it's hard this year. So you've got to remedy that. And I have said to everybody, just get a little small jar, salt water, put it in your center. Because to go and look for a set of 6 bells and all of that and the right color and blah blah blah, it is a bit challenging if you haven't been to a proper workshop. Okay, so that is the ultimate. Okay, salt water in your center this year stops difficulties, stops hardships, stops destruction, and stops the obstacles. Bankruptcy is part of your home as well, but then so is the year. So the year is about academic. It's about you learning, and I've said that before. But there's something else that somebody has asked me before, okay? And the thing was, when I'm teaching these classes, the Cert 4s that I've written, when I am teaching these, when we get to the numbers and what each of the numbers mean, I remember saying in class that how is the world going to be how are we going to be infertile? How is the world going to be that? In 2020, I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't understand how. In 2020, it hit me and I realized how it was going to happen. So at the moment, from 2004 to 2024, we're in what we call the age 8. The age 8 represents the youth of the world. The youth is also pregnancies. The youth is also fertility, all of that. But it's on a spiral down, big time down. It's waning, okay? And that's when in 2020 I realized, now I get it. And why do people become sterile, blah, blah, blah? Well, you know the reason for that. I don't have to say it on this. The other thing is IVF is huge at the moment. When you are in a good room and it's balanced, then fertility happens, okay? And I have had people who, had IVF for 6 times, 4 times, 3 times, and then they call and I go and do their home and I put them in a room. And the room can be male or female, as in babies. That depends as well, okay? So that's what happens. So this is the first time that I've realized myself. I mean, I know how great Feng Shui is because I don't know my birthday. So Feng Shui is what gets me through every time I'm in a place. I balance it. I get a house and turn it into a home. That's what one of my friends said. Anyway, so that just hit me and it's like, whoa, now I get it. Okay, so you're having IVF and then you go home. And when you go home, you're in the same room that you have not been able to conceive from all this time, yet you go and have IVF and you go back to that room. Think about it, okay? If you're going to conceive in that room, you already would have. Cool? All right, the other is somebody actually sent me from another state, one of my clients who escaped Victoria. Yep, you guys escaped. Escaped Victoria and they're somewhere else. And they asked me that they've applied for work here in Victoria to come back because the mandates were lifted. No, the mandates have not been lifted. It's all fake. It's a raw, it's crap. It's all of that. They have not been lifted. I'm going to tell you, I went to work at St. Vinny's and I went to work at the soup kitchen just to volunteer, okay, because I'm studying a cert at the moment. And they wouldn't employ me. At St. Vinny's, a woman told me, she looked at my resume and said, oh my God, you're what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah. And then when she found out I'm not jabbed, she said, I'm sorry, I can't employ you. Same, so can't employ you. I'm not being employed though. I'm volunteering. I'm a volunteer here. I don't want your money. I'm just volunteering, right? So, no, can't do it. So when I asked around, etc., if they actually employ me, they lose their funding. That's the whole thing. So the mandate thing is a lot of crap. For you believing it, yeah, I don't know. It's up to you. But if you're thinking of coming back to Victoria because mandates are lifted, it's bullshit. They have not been lifted. It's the same. Coles, Woolworths, all those places. If they employ somebody that is not jabbed, that the government is actually paying them to not employ unjabbed people. All right. So yeah, I did my homework on that and found that out. Not happy, Jan. All right. The other is this age 8 runs out on February 4, 2024. So for those of you that have had your home done, and you will have this in a square, green square or a blue circle that I have marked on your plans. So if you have those two, blue circle, green square, if you have those two and they are a front door or where you sleep, you really need a review, I would say, because that would be the cheapest thing I can do for you. A review, or you need to do the 1 day beginners, because you need to start looking for another house, because there's going to be, like it happened in 2004. Many of you remember that. I didn't tell you that the age is changing from a 7 to an 8 in 2004, and you all went nutso. And I spent 6 months running around like a chook, fixing people's homes or telling them they've got to get out. But most of you, if you've had your home done in the past 5 years, I have let you know that the energy will run out on February 4, 2024. Got it? So you better call me or come and do the 1 day course. Now, where am I teaching the 1 day course? On your dining table. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's been a great week. And all those people learning are going to sell their house and they're going to find their own home. Yeah, I'm very good at it. All right, so that is all I can tell you about this, because this age 8 is about youth. And you can see now, if you have a troubled young person at home, it's 8 to 9 months before you can book that child in to see somebody. Yeah, I understand it now. It's coming together for me to understand it, so I'm relaying it to you. Because I remember in class, I did say to my students, I have no idea how we're going to have infertility. No idea. Okay. Another energy will come in to replace this, and it is fertility, but it's not youth. So it's kind of, I believe, how this will happen is the daughter-in-law, etc., can't, or the eggs are not happening, etc., and then an older person in the family actually donates the eggs. Doesn't matter how old, as long as they're fertile. Yeah, I believe that. I totally believe that, because the energy that is replacing this is the matriarch of the house. It's the person at the top, and that is a mother. It can also be a grandmother or an older aunt or an older sister or something like that. So whoever the head of the house is. Yep, we're going backwards in a way, but forward in another. Okay, so it is that the energy of it is quite strong. You won't have your youthfulness either. That's what that is. So I'd like to see all those people with the 8s, because the 8 will no longer have that vibration that it does now. I'd like to see all those people with 8s, if they keep the 8 or not. Very interesting times. that we are having. And you all know what to do, what you do in November and who you decide, blah, blah, blah. You only pick a Freedom Party. You do not pick anybody else. That's it. And then we can get the drums and go down Western Ring Road and belly dance to our heart's content. Like that. All right. Thank you for all the questions. And yeah, keep them coming. Bye.